So I'm here to get this thing running. This is like a International TD20. I lied, it's a TD15. The story goes, this thing has not run in a couple of years. Really don't have any more information than that. From everything I can see just looking at it, the guy was using it, he parked it, went in for dinner, and never touched it again. This property was sold, and the new owner has a couple of these old pieces of equipment, and I'm out here to try to get them running. Let's check this thing out. And it looks like we got steering clutches. Nice seat. Oh, here's the seat. That's cool. I'll get that later. I don't want to pull those too hard until we start moving. We got a power shift transmission. This looks like the D-cell pedal. Is this a DT466? Oh, I guess we got to watch for bees too. They're out here building their wicked homes. Check the oil. Doesn't look bad. Is a touch over full. No birdhouses in the air cleaner. This side of it looks like it's been kept closed, so I would suspect there's not mice living in there. They did keep the stat covered, which is nice. What we got in the toolbox? Hey, starting fluid. Hopefully we don't have to use it. This is a 24-volt system, so this actually had 4 6-volt batteries in it. But we're going back with 2 12 volts in series. All the blade functions seem to be loose and not seized up. Engine looks pretty clean. Boy, these are dangerously close to... And the coolant is empty. So when you have empty coolant and over full oil, that's not usually a good thing, because it could mean that the coolant went into the oil. This has got a nice big blade on it, and it's a 4-way blade that looks like it's been leaking a bunch. Let's throw batteries in this thing and see if it'll fire. And it started to rain. How nice. All right, so in a 24-volt system, you have the positive in, you jump the negative to the positive, and then the negative goes back out. And I think that's series. So the cranking amps stay the same, and it increases the voltage. These aren't the right terminals for these batteries, but it's what I have, so I'm gonna make it work. Here's where we do the tap test to make sure it doesn't just take off without us. Doesn't seem to be any draw, that's good. This back on. Look at that. All right, I'm ready to fire this thing. I think this is a battery switch. So safety is number 3. This feels like a transmission type thing. So middle should be neutral. This is our power shift, so this is the direction. One of these ways is forward and one of these ways is reverse. Having this in the center is where you want it. This quite possibly is the throttle. It correlates with this, which is the D-cell pedal. If you don't know, dozers have a D-cell pedal, so they run wide open, and then you hold the D-cell pedal down to decelerate. So it's kind of the opposite of a car. Enough chatter. Let's see if this thing will fire. Oh. It's engaging, but we're not putting screws to the engines. I want to put a bar on the engine. Oh yeah, that's free. Yep, look at that, that's nice. Okay, give the starter a couple of taps here. Oh, there we go. Oh boy, there we go. Let's try this now. No fuel coming out. All right, so, let's make sure there's fuel in the tank. There is fuel. Let me get my fuel gauge. I need a longer fuel gauge. I have a gluten-free fuel gauge. Oh yeah, so there's that much in the tank. This is probably the inlet. This is probably a return. This is the supply. Let's crack this. No, wait, we can't do that. Let's crack this. Is that just, that might not actually be, that might just be a housing bolt. This guy is probably a fuel pressure line because it runs up here to this gauge right there. I don't think this is going to tell us anything. I think the fuel pump is on the injection pump, so if it's not hooked up, it's not going to pull anything. Crack this injector loose, that way we can see if fuel's coming out. Oh, hey, I'm not gonna bother you if you don't bother me. I lied. You're bothering me. All right, we got fuel on that one. Here we go. We may have to bleed those top injectors. Let's see if we get fuel out of these guys. And those two are wet. So the only ones I couldn't get to were the two in the front here. Alright, what's under here? Oh, just nice access to where you can bleed those injectors. Here we're getting a little smoke. Give it a little breath of fresh air here. Got to be able to shut them off though. Dude, it runs great. Oh, I love this. Nice. Look at this. That's pretty cool. Cover up your instrument panel. I do want to run it a little bit just to see if we got blade functions and movement, and if we blow any hydraulic hoses, I'd like to know about it so I can go fix it when I grab coolant. Nothing behind us, so just check. Alright, that stopped. So it stopped moving very suddenly, which usually means you want to look for blown lines, but I don't see anything. Maybe it's just stuck in the mud. Let's see if we can get it out of this hole, because it's kind of sunk in the ground. I feel like there's a low fluid issue. Maybe it's this guy right here. It shows it's full. It says full engine running. Let's fire it up and see what that says running. I want to pull it off this hill a little bit here and see if it's just needs to get out and get some work in. Uh-oh. That feels like a fuel issue. Probably should put new fuel filters on it, because I'm assuming that's what the problem is. And that oil's not milky yet, so that's a good sign. I just noticed the hour meter here, 1,818 hours. I think we'll change the fuel filters. I just called the parts store. They have fuel filters in stock. This place is pretty cool. All right, let's take a hike. Oh God. So what I'm guessing is we're gonna find is this one's gonna be empty and this one's gonna be full. Yeah, about, there's a tiny little drop in there. Internet's gonna lose their mind that I was putting old fuel in a new filter. You know that fuel was filtered, right? In the filter. There's almost nothing in this filter. It's okay because it makes me feel like it's probably just the fuel filters. A little bit, but not a ton. Oh, maybe we do have a low fuel issue. That actually brought it up to level here. I think found the tissue. So disconnected this fuel line. So I'm pretty sure this is the supply, and as you can see, we do not have any fuel flowing right now, which could present a couple of minor problems. But I'm wondering if we turn that on, we get fuel. Old boy shut his fuel off when he went in for dinner that night. Okay, now we'll open this. Now fuel should fill that right up. It's been sitting for a few minutes. Let's see if we get fuel now. Still no. I'm filling the filter with the supply line off the tank. I don't know, maybe it just needs the system primed or something. I don't know. Well, I think we fixed the running crisis. We got it out of its spot, but we have a new problem, and that is a blown hydraulic line. This thing is literally just rusted right through. I don't think think I'm going the right way. She's a crusty one. That end just twisted right off. I threw this bucket under there trying to catch some of that. I don't like that stuff going all over the ground if I can help it. Well, this blade settled a little while I was gone. Got the new hose. He sold me the wrong 90, and that 90 was like 60 bucks. So I'm gonna track this thing out of here for the owner, and then I think they're gonna make me the right hose. Let's fire this up and see if we can get it to turn around and move out of here. Yeah, it's quieter than I thought it was going to be.
Put it up behind that machine so...
Didn't really have to rent the forestry machine. You just done everything with this. Awesome. Yeah, that thing runs like a champ compared to what I thought it was going. I know. Well, it's not raining. I want to push some of this old debris out of the way with this guy. grade, that's where that's going to park. Probably going to have to use the dozer. Well, I'll kind of wrap on this video. That was really cool getting that thing running. I think the homeowner's going to be really happy with this thing, and he'll get a ton of use out of it. This thing is a stout machine, really good condition. He's got a lot of work to do here at this property, and that's the machine for the job. It doesn't really matter what the job, that's the machine for it.